Good evening and welcome to the Ghana TV9 News Bulletin for Thursday, September 11, 2025. I am Colin Abrams. In the headlines tonight, APNU ousts Norton from Parliament as party faces dramatic collapse. Several buildings destroyed in massive Albouystown inferno. Scores homeless. Ford Ghana demands GCOM clarify role of Commonwealth voters in 2025 elections. 20-year-old orthopedic technician arrested for videoing Lola doll at GPAC. Paul Darby Jr. released on $1 million bail. And body found at Melanie Seawall identified as GRA driver. Now for the news in depth. A massive fire tore through Albouystown this afternoon, destroying several homes and displacing dozens of families. Firefighters responded quickly, but the intensity of the flames and the age of the wooden structures made containment difficult. Details in this report. These were the scenes at James Street, Albouystown Thursday afternoon, where several families are now left homeless and a number of properties destroyed by fire, resulting in millions of dollars in losses. Divisional Officer Otis Charles of the Ghana Fire Service said they responded at around 14 hours to a call about a fire in the area.
We call about nearly about 45 minutes from now of a fire in Albouystown. We responded with 6 appliances, 2 from Central, 1 from Albouystown, 1 from West, 1 from Eccles, and 1 from Central Fire Station. When we arrived, one building was fully engulfed in flames, and another was already starting to catch. So we immediately got into firefighting mode. We are right now trying to salvage the other buildings around, other than the building of origin, where we have branches around the entire block. We are accessing water from water source as well as hydrants and our boulders. So we are currently in firefighting mode here.
Several buildings were completely destroyed by the raging inferno. Some of the occupants of the homes told Ghana TV9 News they lost everything in the fire.
Sleep in when the people come and take down the door. Bang, 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 bang. We friendly side keys. But I know them all, them are not fixed and all. When they come around the door and them really answer them. So man, bang, bang. For the third time I hear about 3 or 4 people. I said, nah, this looks serious. And then it goes so open. When I run out, they tell me, hey, you gotta move your bus. That's right by the bus. That's right there the fire starts from.
Where? Right with it?
Right there on the ground there.
Yeah,
and the bus was right there.
Yeah.
Good. There the fire starts from. And me bus was right there, so me bus. I run out there, come out there, come out there, I run pick up the bus. By the time I come out, they remove the bus, I remove the bus and take the floor. Move the bus, I try to come for the function. By the time I come home back, I can't even. Thank God. The slave done thing. I decided to go and see what I can save. The clothes, whatever.
Were you able to save anything at all?
All I could have saved is my documents.
One woman said she had just left her home when she got a call that her house was on fire. The woman said she moved into the area just 2 weeks ago.
Right now, we out the place. Because I like you from the last night. Yeah. You know, you see me right here. After them in the past, right, and they go next. Body. There is this thing where ignite the fire and down. That way ignite the fire and down. And long as start for down. This piece we see first. That way ignite the fire. Keep watching the live now. Big man, right? Yeah.
Up to the time of this report, there are no reported deaths or injuries from the fire. The family said they're now left with nothing and nowhere to go. Reporting for the Ghana TV9 News, Colin Abrams. In a stunning shakeup following its bruising defeat at the polls, the Partnership for National Unity has dropped its longtime leader Aubrey Norton from its parliamentary lineup.
Norton, who will retain his title as APNU leader, has been sidelined from the National Assembly entirely. Confirming the move, party executives revealed that businessman Terence Campbell will step in as APNU's lead member of parliament. Added that the party's full slate of parliamentarians will be made known tomorrow. The decision comes on the heels of APNU's crushing loss at the September 1 elections, once commanding 22 seats in parliament and holding sway as the largest opposition bloc. The party has now been reduced to a mere 12 seats, its weakest showing in decades. By contrast, the We Invest in Nationhood Win Party stormed into parliament with 16 seats, overtaking APNU as the official opposition. Win's controversial leader, U.S. sanctioned businessman Azruddin Mohammed, has declared his intention to assume the post of opposition leader. The electoral shakeup has redrawn Guyana's political map. Amanza Walton Desir, once an APNU MP, now leads her splinter group, Forward Guyana Movement, which captured one seat. Meanwhile, the governing People's Progressive Party Civic, PPPC, tightened its grip on power with a landslide 242,498 votes, securing 36 of the 65 seats in the National Assembly. APNU's collapse is being read as a direct reflection of Norton's leadership, with critics inside and outside of the party questioning whether his sidelining from parliament signals the beginning of the end of his political career or the first move in a deeper power struggle within the APNU.
Orbie Norton subsequently confirmed to this newscast that he will not be returning to Parliament, but stressed that it was his decision. The next 5 years will see the Ali-led administration working hand in hand with the private sector to ensure job creation and economic development. This was the assurance given by President Mohammed Irfan Ali on Sunday as he promised that technology and innovation will play a vital role in the process. Details in this report.
President Ali stated that over the next 5 years, Ghana aims to become a leading frontier in the region, using its natural resources to build a resilient economy and ensure national prosperity. He emphasized that achieving this vision requires proper planning, as outlined in government's manifesto.
Your government has set out the framework to turn ambition into reality. That framework will require the structure by government to keep pace with the rapid growth and changing composition of our economy, our evolving development priorities, and the growing global prominence of our country. Critical elements of our plans for Guyana by 2030 include seamless infrastructure between every region, digital infrastructure, advancing our new smart city, Silica City, and shipping and logistic hub linking Brazil and CARICOM, thereby creating new markets and opening up new opportunities.
President Ali emphasized that a key factor in developing these plans is achieving high levels of productivity through technological innovation. He highlighted that all of Ghana's sectors are poised for further transformative growth, with the ultimate goal of building a diversified economy that secures a prosperous future for the people of Guyana.
My fellow Guyanese, in the next 5 years, we'll convert ambition into action and action into transformation. We will not speak in half measures. We will not hesitate. We will deliver. Yes, our oil and gas sector will continue to grow, expanding production and revenue for our people. But why stop there? We'll press forward with new exploration under a stronger production sharing agreement, ensuring that the benefits are greater, the gains are wider, and the wealth is truly for the people.
President Ali also announced the establishment of a One Guyana Commission, which will play a vital role in advancing infrastructure, cultural development, and national integration. He emphasized that Ghana's economic future depends not only on the government's ambitions, but also the active involvement of the private sector.
A private sector ready to drive wealth and job creation. Success will come when businesses pursue growth while ensuring fairness to their workers, upholding social responsibility, and contributing to the broader well-being of our society. It is this partnership between government and a responsible forward-looking private sector that will propel shared prosperity.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Private Sector Commission, Captain Jerry Gavaya Jr., expressed his excitement in an interview with Ghana TV9 following the inauguration ceremony. He said he was encouraged by the plans outlined for the private sector.
Because that is a challenge to the private sector to step up to the line. And I can tell you the private sector is ready to step up, work with the government, and really take advantage of a lot of these opportunities. For example, all of the co-investment opportunities that he spoke about, whether those are the bridges, the fertilizer plants, we're going to be heavily engaged with him to make sure that the wealth not only goes deep, but also wide. So we want to make sure that all of our indigenous communities benefit from these programs. Private Sector Commission, we represent chambers of commerce from all 10 regions and all the sectoral business support organizations around the country, as well as a lot of the large companies. So it's using that network, working with the government of the day, with the investment incentives that they have to make sure that we make sure that we hit every part of Guyana.
Colin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
Police have detained a 20-year-old male orthopedic technician as they investigate a report of the publication or transmission of an image of the private area of a person committed on Lolita calendar called Lola Doll, which occurred between Saturday, September 6, 2025 at the Georgetown Public Hospital. The orthopedic technician has since admitted to videoing the victim at the hospital with his cell phone. He, however, claimed that he did not share it on Facebook, but he only sent it to his ex-girlfriend via WhatsApp. And after he saw the video circulating on social media, he deleted same from his cell phone. The cell phone was seized and taken to the CID HQ, where it was handed over to the head of the cybercrimes unit to be analyzed. The suspect is presently in custody, and checks are presently being made to locate the ex-girlfriend. In addition, the Ghana Police Force continues the investigation in relation to the attempted murder of Lolita Calendar called Lola Doll. As of today's 72-hour detention period for detained suspect Paul Darby Jr., called Randall, have elapsed, and as such he was placed on $1 million bail with strict reporting conditions to the police. The decomposed body found on the Melanie seawall on September 2 has been identified as 54-year-old Christopher Andrew Sargent, a driver with the Ghana Revenue Authority. Sargent's wife, Brizanna Phillips, made the identification at the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home in the presence of police and government pathologist Dr. Nihal Singh. A postmortem could not determine the cause of death due to the body's advanced decomposition. Authorities said a 70-year-old first spotted the body and alerted neighbor Brian Chin, who contacted police. The remains were lying face up, distressed, in a white t-shirt, vest, and blue jeans. Both wrists and insteps were missing, and the face had decomposed to expose bone, though no visible marks of violence were observed. Investigators are now working to determine how Sargent died and why his body was left on the seawall. The For Ghana Movement, FGM, has issued a direct challenge to the Ghana Elections Commission, GECOM, demanding answers about how Commonwealth citizens were registered and allowed to vote in the recently concluded general and regional elections. Adela Dore has more in this story.
In a strongly worded letter to GECOM, Chairperson Justice retired Claudette Singh, FMG leader Amanda Walton Desir pressed for a comprehensive breakdown of the number of Commonwealth nationals registered as voters, the countries they originated from, and how many of them actually cast ballots. She also demanded that GECOM disclose the statutory or regulatory authority under which such citizens were permitted to participate in the elections, along with any internal directives, guidelines, or circulars issued to staff governing their registration and verification. Walton Desir argued that the credibility of the country's democracy hinges on whether the process was lawful and transparent, stating that the integrity of our electoral system depends on clarity, transparency, and accountability. Guyanese citizens must be assured that their votes are not being diluted by the participation of foreign nationals. The people deserve to know under what authority Commonwealth citizens were allowed to register and how their involvement was managed, she declared. FMG made it clear that the request is not limited to statistical data but extends to supporting documentation capable of proving that GECOM acted within the confines of the law. The party has given the election body a 14-day deadline to respond or to provide a written explanation as to why it cannot comply. Copies of the correspondence were simultaneously dispatched to GCOM commissioners and to international election observers, including the European Union, the Commonwealth Secretariat, the Organization of American States, the Carter Center, and CARICOM. By doing so, FMG said it signals its intention to keep the matter in the international spotlight and to ensure that questions over the participation of Commonwealth citizens remain front and center in post-election debates. The statement by the party stated that bold moves by Walton Nazir underscores FMG's determination to scrutinize every aspect of the 2025 polls and set the stage for a potential showdown with GCOM over one of the most sensitive and politically explosive issues to emerge from the elections. Adandor, Ghana TV9 News.
And finally, tonight's newscast. CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Burnett addressed Caribbean nationals at the Holy Trinity Cathedral in Ethiopia, emphasizing the shared heritage between Africa and the Caribbean. The engagement focused on strengthening partnerships in health, trade, transportation, and cultural exchanges. The meeting came on the eve of the CARICOM African Day, just before the second Africa CARICOM Summit. More from Faith Sandy.
CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnes engaged Caribbean nationals living in Ethiopia at the Holy Trinity Cathedral, speaking to the diaspora on the eve of CARICOM Africa Day and the second Africa CARICOM Summit. Dr. Barnett emphasized that this summit represents a homecoming for the Caribbean community. She reflected on the shared heritage connecting Caribbean and Africa despite centuries of separation by oceans, colonial systems, and global economic structures. This gathering is a tangible manifestation of our commitment to bridge the divide, Dr. Barnett said, highlighting collaborations in health, mass media, transportation, trade, and people-to-people engagement.
This gathering is a tangible manifestation of our commitment to bridge the divide. Indeed, we are not merely building a partnership, we are reaffirming a familial bond.
The event also highlighted CARICOM's effort to strengthen ties with Africa, including the Memorandum of Understanding with the African Union, the Health Development Partnership for Africa and the Caribbean, and the African Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum, hosted in multiple CARICOM member states since 2022. These initiatives aim to promote sustainable development, economic growth, and improve livelihoods for both regions. Dr. Barnett described the engagement as reaffirming a familiar bond between Africa and the Caribbean, with much work still ahead to fully realize the partnership's potential. The town hall took place just one day before the second Africa CARICOM Summit, the first in-person meeting of heads of government from both regions. Faith Sandy, Ghana TV9 News.
Thank you, Faith, and that is all for tonight's news bulletin. I'm Colin Abrams. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.